Good Sunday morning, everybody. Kerry from Babs Speed Warehouse here speaking to you. And today we're going to talk about an interesting subject. We're going to talk appraisals on jewelry. Not something you would think of a beat store guy doing, but we have a lot of experience in talking about this. We don't actually do appraisals anymore, but well, let's talk about it. So you buy a piece of jewelry from a jewelry store. Let's say it's worth about $10,000. Let's say you pay $10,000 for it. And you need a form for your insurance company because you want to insure it. Well, a jewelry store should provide you with a receipt that is the value of it with a picture of it if you ask them for it. Because you really don't need appraisal if it's brand new. You've got the receipt. You have a picture of it and a description of it. That's easy. If you want an appraisal to see if you pay too much or pay too little, that's something a little bit more difficult because appraisals are an evaluation of what it would cost for somebody to reproduce that item. So you paid for it, you paid $10,000 for it. Generally, that's what it'll cost to reproduce it. Maybe somebody else could do it for 8, somebody else could do it for 12. Not really that important. So let's say you have an old piece of jewelry, a diamond, maybe a 5-carat diamond that was left to you, and what you want to know, you will go into a jewelry store and you'll ask, can you appraise this for me? Well, there's different numbers that are involved in that. There is a number of, are you really saying to the jeweler, what would you pay me for that if I sold that to you? That's not an appraisal. That's a liquid price. Then there is the value that, hey, I want to insure this, and that value is going to be much higher because that we're dealing on the retail value of it. Which brings me to you having an appraisal. Let's say your jewelry says on the appraisal $10,000 and you want to sell it. Well, it's not worth $10,000. That might be the replacement cost. What would it cost to reproduce that exactly? The actual cash value, believe it or not, is the gold content and the liquidation value of the diamond or gemstones. And the liquidation value would be if I was in the diamond business and I buy diamonds from my suppliers or cutters or whoever I'm buying it from, I'm going to buy it from you for less than I buy it from them. Because I'm not stocking your diamond. I don't want to have stock. I got to outlay money for it. Generally in our business, if somebody wants a diamond, we go and bring it in. It's what's called memo. We show you the diamonds. We're not out any money. We send back what we don't buy. We may send it all back. If you bring me in the diamond and I'm going to buy it, I'm going to have to sit on it. I'm investing my money, which could be earning 5% in the bank or selling other jewelry. And so I'm going to pay you a lower value for it. And I'm going to pay you a lower value for it than I would pay my wholesale suppliers because I'm going to have to sit on the stock. So let's say, and these numbers I'm pulling out of my ears here. So let's say you bring in a diamond to me and the appraisal says this diamond is worth $10,000. Well, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing it. Hopefully it's got paper from GIA. And I can take a rough guesstimate of what this would cost me wholesale. So that diamond may cost me $6,000 wholesale, maybe $7,000. You don't make a lot of profit on diamonds. So $6,000 or $7,000 wholesale. Now I got to think to myself, do I want to keep this diamond in stock? Is that diamond something that a customer in my store would want? If it is, I may pay you $5,000. I may pay you 20% under the price that I would get a diamond from one of my suppliers. And the reason is when I get it from my suppliers, I don't have to buy it if I don't sell it, if I'm showing it to a customer. So I'd pay you $5,000. Now, if it's some weird off cut that, or it's got a chip in it because diamonds do chip, and I have to have it recut, If it's not certified, I have to have it recertified. If it doesn't have a current certification, I have to send it out for a current certification. So I may be willing to give you $3,000 to $4,000 for it. And hopefully not upset you because your appraisal says $10,000. But your appraisal, like I said, your appraisal only means if you lose it, or it's, well, not if you lose it, if it's stolen from you and it's under your insurance, the insurance company will go and pay up to that amount to have it reproduced. So, don't go into a jewelry store with your appraisal and expect to get anywhere near what it says on the appraisal. That's not how it works. And in color stones, it's even worse. There is no jeweler that wants to sit on a 5-carat tanzanite that you may have bought in the Bahamas on a cruise for, I don't know, $5,000 that may be worth to him $1,000 because the cruise overinflated, the store overinflated, and you got this ridiculously inflated appraisal. There's no deals. There's no deals on cruises. Everybody gets kickbacks. Everybody has hands in everybody else's pocket. But you know what? We're going to do that subject at a later time. So, when somebody comes into me and says, hey, I bought this strand of sapphire beads, you charged me $3,000 for it, and can I have an appraisal? Well, I'm not going to appraise my own goods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a replacement value. What it would cost in my store if you came into that store to buy that. I am not going to appraisal. I am not a authorized appraiser. I don't go there. Usually when you get an appraisal, you want to go to somebody that's independent, that does not own a jewelry store. Because a lot of times you bring it in for an appraisal and that jeweler, because he didn't sell it to you, is going to knock it. And what I mean by knock it, they're going to say, oh, you paid too much for it. I could have sold you that cheaper. That's not why you went into the store. You went into the store to get an appraisal on it. You didn't want their opinion on that. So the best thing to do, because he's probably lying to you, the best thing you want to do is find a jewelry appraiser that does not own a jewelry store and does not sell jewelry. So, to sum it up, appraisals are for insurance companies, evaluation are for insurance companies to go and reproduce that piece of jewelry for you in the event of it gets stolen or whatever your insurance has for you on that. And it's very important that it is detailed. It's got to be detailed. You got to have pictures of it because you want to be able to replace that. If you're going in and you want to sell it, don't even bother bringing in the appraisal. You can bring in the cert if it's got a GIA cert on it. And GIA is certification, or the paperwork on GIA is recognized in the industry as being the top paper for diamonds. They're for colored stones. They're good. There's other people for colored stones. But there are other grading houses that are not so good, that are lenient. One other thing, when you're paying for an appraisal, don't pay a percentage of the value as the appraisal fee. You can see how that can go south real quick. Because the jeweler could say, or not the jeweler, the appraiser could say, we're going to go and it's 1% of the fee of it. So why would he keep it the actual value? Why wouldn't he raise it up? It'll make you feel good. You'll pay more insurance on it, more insurance fees, and he gets a higher fee. It should be a flat fee. It should be a flat fee for the first item, and each additional item should be a smaller fee. I don't know what the prices are for appraisals, but that's the way it should be. Well, that's the end of the video. Kind of weird that, yes, a bead guy is telling you this, but I've been in the jewelry business pretty much all of my life. And I have written insurance replacement forms. I've never done an actual appraisal. We word them differently because we're not authorized to appraise, but we can tell what something is value and what it will cost for us to reproduce it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, make comments on it. And you appraisers out there, hey, you don't like what I said? I got thick skin. Make a comment at the bottom of it. Everybody make a comment. I don't care. I can take it. So you guys have a good Sunday. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week.